Welcome to the greatest hockey show in the world, the Nick and Co show, coming at you, even though I'm on day 2 of quarantine. So no Brooklyn, no anyone else, just Nick, quarantine in his room after coming back from an electric weekend in Omaha. You can go follow us, Nick and Co show. That's Nick and Co, C-O, show, SHOW, all spelled out. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Follow the Beer League Players Association at the BLPA. Go check out the group. Almost 11,500 people. But anyway, we had an incredible time at the tournament this past weekend. Yes, there was some fear of it being shut down, and I'm glad we didn't. But it was one of those things where it was a last-minute call, and we don't want to screw anyone over. But we definitely didn't want to have anything bad happen to anyone. So we went ahead with it. We knocked it out, and then we got home, and now I'm in a 14-day quarantine that Canada asked nicely to make mandatory if you come back from the States. So that's what I've been doing the last couple of days, just hanging out, feeling good now. Hopefully I'm all good. Hopefully everyone that attended the tournament is all good. But the weekend was incredible. I mean, we had literally we had 44 players, and I probably only knew 8 of them. So we had a lot of new people that are now on board with the draft experience. And I just wanted to let people know, yeah, I did draft stuff in the past, but the draft experience is different, way different. In my opinion, way better. And fact, way more affordable. But you should go check them out at the tournament company, the draft experiences, where we make teams by beer chugging contests. We have new teams, each tournament, each theme. You get a jersey, you get socks, you get a huge draft party, you get 5 games. They're incredible. So this week, what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to a bunch of players that came to the draft experience, and that way they could give you their thoughts. So you're not hearing it from me. Like if it's come from me, it's just like, oh, the guy that runs the thing, he's obviously talking them up. But I asked a bunch of people, if they wanted to come on and tell them about their experience. And so, yeah. So, all right. So let's call the first guy. First guy is Reed Campbell. We're going to give him a shout here. See if we can make this work here. See what we can do here. There we go. Ringing in like we're professional, eh?
This is Reed.
Hey, Reed, this is Nick. What's up, buddy?
Not much. Just cooking St. Patrick's Day dinner. How about you?
Just sitting in my self-isolation chamber here at the house and, recording stuff.
Just walling yourself off from the world.
Well, I mean, that's Canada says basically, hey, if you come back from anywhere outside of Canada, we want you to self-isolate. And so I figured I'd be a good Samaritan and do that.
Oh, gee.
So
at least they let you back in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're walling off things. So, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you're taking St. Patrick's Day dinner.
Oh, yeah.
This is really easy. Like I introduced to our listeners here on the introduction is that I'm just, contacting some people that played in the draft experience there in Omaha, Nebraska, and getting their thoughts on it. Because if I tout him, it's just the guy that runs things, talking up his own thing. But the best information can come from people that came out and played in it. So you want to kind of tell people kind of about your experience and all that good stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So I play in, I don't know. Oh, am I good to go here?
Yeah, we're good to go.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah, I play in 6 to 8 hockey tournaments a year, and this was far and away the best one I played in yet. The competition level was even. The games were competitive and fun, and there wasn't anybody that was out there trying to prove anything other than just how fun they can be on the ice to play with and play against.
Yeah, now I know that you're an Omaha local, and whenever we said, hey, we're going to take a chance, we're going to go to Omaha because it has this incredible hockey culture. Why don't you first kind of explain a little bit about the hockey culture in Omaha and how it was kind of described to me as a hidden gem in the Midwest when it comes to hockey stuff?
Hidden gem, diamond in the rough, those are both great terms for it. We have the privilege of having 4 arenas and 6 sheets of ice, I think. And between that, we've got 3 different leagues that play all throughout the week, and I have the opportunity to play an organized drop-in every day during the work week. and none of the drop-ins happen after 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, must be
So
nice.
we're just really spoiled to have everything that adult rec hockey players want to have and talk about getting, but usually end up settling for the 11, 12 o'clock ice times and paying extra fees. We don't have to worry about not having things organized for us. Depending on what league you play in, that's all going to be taken care of. Or depending on what drop-in you go to, the people who run those drop-ins, they're going to make sure that everything is taken care of on the front end. Cost of ice time is reasonable here. It matches Midwest prices for anything else that we do, and it's an up and coming community. In that we've got a lot of youth getting into it, so now all their parents want to get into it too. I didn't start playing hockey until I was 35, and when I moved to Omaha, and I don't think I would have been sane long enough to live here for the last 6 years without the hockey community. You meet one person and all of a sudden you're friends with 15, 20 other people by the end of the week.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's kind of the concept behind the draft experiences is that you go in, you might not know anyone, but you come out with a whole bunch of friends. And for people that that maybe are a little on the fence or they don't really understand what we say when we do draft experience, can you kind of walk through what your experience was starting off with the draft party?
Absolutely. So I was glad I didn't know anything walking in, and I didn't have a lot of expectations about what was going to happen. So I walked in, I saw my name up on the screen, and I was told that's the round I'm in. Those are the people that I'm being drafted against. And I had a lot of anxiety building up because I was put in round 10, and so I just wanted the things to go fast because I wanted to know whose team I was going to be on. Now, looking in hindsight, I was not so anxious about whose team I was going to be in. I was just excited and wrapped up in the whole experience. From the moment you walk in, you feel like you're part of something. I knew that what was going to go on was going to be something that was going to be for me and designed around my interests and my likes. And I didn't feel out of place with anybody that was in the room. I was privileged to know about 15 other people that were in there just because I'm an Omaha native, and that's the rest of the Omaha people were there. But we weren't there. Those of us who play on different club teams and different league teams, we weren't there as competitors. We were all there to share the same experience. And once things really started getting underway with the draft process, I was amazed at how quickly things rolled through and how smooth everything went. By the end of the night, I was standing outside waiting for my Uber, thinking to myself, "Holy cow!" The whole night just went past, and I didn't do anything but have fun and have a blast the entire time from stepping foot into the bar where we were having.
How was it for you? I mean, for me, obviously, I know everyone. I'm the guy, emceeing things, and I have to say, the MC at the party, probably the most handsome guy in the room. But how was it? How was it for you in terms of you knew 15 people or so, but the people you didn't know, like assimilating into them, like did you feel welcomed? Were people nice? Did you meet people off the front end that you didn't know? How was that process?
I had a couple of conversations with people on the front end that I didn't know, and actually had two of them with people I ended up getting. One of them I ended up getting drafted by, and then another one that was on my team. But it was interesting because you didn't have to think about anything to talk about. We knew we were all there for the draft experience. We're all there to play hockey. We're all there for the same reason, and it was almost like we had all been friends since before we met each other.
Yeah, I like that. I like that explanation. Yeah.
So I didn't have any problems talking with anybody about anything, and I think you were involved in a conversation that I'd had with another one of the members about how I didn't have to talk to anybody about what I did for a living, which I think was fantastic. Not that I don't have pride in my career, but I'm not there to work. I'm there to have a good time. I'm there to kick back, cut loose, have some fun. And that was exactly what happened from the moment that we stepped foot on the sidewalk right in front of the bar. I was greeted by Jeff Peck right away, who's like, "Hey, come on in. We're ready for you guys." And from there, it was just a whirlwind. And then all of a sudden, it's Sunday afternoon. I'm going home, going, "Oh, well, when's the next one that I'm going to?"
Well, what was your before going in, before you got drafted? What was your favorite jersey? Like, what jersey did you want the most?
I was pretty excited about the Jackalope jersey because I was born and raised in South Dakota, which is the birthplace of the Jackalope.
Yeah. Okay.
And although the color scheme wasn't my favorite, I was pretty excited about that one. I tell you what, though, once I put on that Harambe jersey, none of the other jerseys mattered.
So was there one that you were like, I don't want that one at any cost? Like, don't draft me. Don't.
Actually, there wasn't. I thought the concepts were all fantastic. I would have gladly worn any of them, and I would have had just as much fun in any jersey. No, I don't think I would. I wouldn't have had as much fun as I did with a Harambe jersey on.
Harambe was definitely a great team.
The concepts and the designs were top notch.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Well, now talk about, okay, so you're drafted, you got your team. You know, how did you interact with your team after you were a team, after you got drafted? How did you interact with those guys? Like, was it different? Did it feel seamless? Did it feel welcoming?
It was welcoming the entire time, and I felt like I had just known them forever. We sat down in the locker room. Well, we sat down, we talked to each other very briefly the night of the draft party. And I think we were all just excited that we were on the same team together. And then we got to the locker room the next day, and all the pieces just fell into place. There weren't any egos about who was doing what, who was going to be playing where, who was going to be playing what position. I think we were a team of destiny, that we were all meant to be together. And in the locker room, we all clicked right away. And once we hit the ice, it felt like I'd been playing with the entire team for 2-3 years.
Yeah, that's pretty rare in the draft experience, because usually the first couple games it takes a little bit to get going, but you guys were rolling. I think you guys scored first goal like 20 seconds into the very first game, and you guys you rolled through Saturday, and then Sunday came along, and I think the real team of destiny kind of stepped up there on Sunday. A team that went 0-3 on Saturday came back and won the whole tournament. It was crazy.
I'd like to see what they had going on behind the scenes. I suspect they had something working with a couple of the bookkeepers. I don't know. There's something about taking a dive in the 8th round that pads your pocketbook. I think these guys had something going on.
The only thing I know is that goalie that you let in like 100 goals on Saturday, he messaged me at midnight on Sunday morning, said, "Hey, you want to go to the gentleman's club?" And I was like, "No, we have a game at 7:45. No." And he's like, "All right." And then he comes, Sunday, and he's just a showstopper, even threw the old shutout on us on the championship game.
He stood on his head on Sunday. That he put a lot of the team on his shoulders. He's like, "Oh, I got this, guys." I think he built up confidence the night before, maybe only slept an hour, if even. Sometimes that's the adrenaline that you need.
You just need a little kickstart. So, all right. Well, if there was one story, one draft experience, Dex Omaha, story or situation that kind of defines the whole tournament for you, one that you remember the most, what would that one be?
Oh boy, one story that I remember the most. Oh wow, that defined it. Oh, trying to think of one thing that really sums it up. Oh, I really don't know that there's a story. I think it was, for me, I think it was just that feeling so comfortable with my team and feeling like I've been on the ice with them. I think that's the only thing I can God, there weren't any. Oh man, now that we're talking about this, my locker room was kind of boring in terms of doing things wild.
Yeah, you got all the guys that were down to business, eh?
I think that's what happened.
Okay, well, hey, that's
No,
fine.
actually, I think the thing that sums up my experience was when I got up on stage and um and I got my jersey. I think that's just there was just something about that moment where um I I don't know. I don't know if it was like all of my anxiety was really because okay, this is I know where I'm going to be at now. I know who I'm going to be playing with. I know what jersey I'm going to be wearing. Or yeah, I just don't. Man, I don't have a good answer for you on that
I
one.
mean, I know that feeling. I mean, I know that you don't know who you're going to be with. You're there. It's your first one. You got all these jerseys. You don't know which jersey you're going to get, and that feeling
Hmm.
of relief, not because you were scared, but just knowing now you have a team. Now I have this sweater. I'm on this team, and now it's time. Now it's time to go play some puck. I know that feeling, so I understand it. It's definitely for a first one. I find that a lot of first time players, that's kind of the turning point of the night when they're like, okay, that was the one thing I'm worried about. Now it's all downhill from here.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, okay, last question then, and before I let you go, and you can have your St. Patty's Day, or sorry, you can't say St. Patty's Day for St. Patrick's Day dinner. Um, so you live in Omaha, and this is our first time to do anything like this in Omaha, Nebraska. There's a lot of reservations from, especially the locals. The tournament costs a little bit more than the tournaments that they're used to playing in. So a two-part
Hmm.
question. One, can you speak to that? And in terms of, the tournament, the cost and what you thought about that. And secondly, what would you say to all those players that maybe wanted to play, had some reservations? What would you say to kind of get them over those reservations?
Well, first and foremost, it's their loss that they didn't play. The yeah, the cost made me think a couple, maybe go back and forth a little bit. But I knew this was something I just wanted to be a part of and see what it was like. Uh, once I was once I was done with it, I already started planning how I'm going to save for the next one that I'm going to.
Yeah.
You can't really put a price tag on the experience, and also, okay, so if you do put a price tag on what you get from this, it it more than evens out to the cost of the tournament. I felt like I got so much more from it than what I paid into it.
Awesome. That sounds great. And I always try to tell people that they are they are a little more expensive. I get that. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
that's not the case, but I like to hear when people say, okay, well, we didn't know. You get the jerseys, you get the 5 games, you get the party, you get all of this, and when it comes down to it, for a weekend of hockey, it's pretty reasonable.
exactly. I had a conversation with my friend that we ended up on the same team together, and we both decided that we're gonna forego local tournaments and put that money towards these.
Oh, that sounds. Hey, I'm all on board for that. All on board. So,
Well, no, no, we're not abandoning our team. We'll still do travel tournaments with them, but local tournaments, we're playing against the same people all the time that we play against in league, that we play against in scrimmages.
yeah.
This was just this brought me back to one of my first organized hockey experiences where I didn't know anybody, but I knew everybody was on the ice for the same reason.
Yeah, I always say that, like even in our dressing room after, and I say it wasn't that long ago that I was also a beginner. I didn't start playing hockey till I was 30 years old. So to be able to have an event like this where it doesn't matter if you just started playing or if you've been playing your whole life, there's a spot for you, and the people that have been playing their whole lives don't mind playing with the people that are beginners, and it's one of the few places where you can go and play a competitive event where that is the case. And the guys that have played their whole lives are just loving being out there with guys that are excited to be on the ice as beginners and trying to set them up for goals. Like,
Yep,
I don't know, how many times my team was like, okay, who doesn't have a goal? Let's try to make that happen. Right. And so, that's kind of,
exactly.
and for me, like, yeah, I organize them, I set them up, I do a lot of them, but every single one of them is different because it's all new players. It's a whole new atmosphere every time, and that. But the one thing that remains constant is that feeling of, hey, this guy's played a whole lot of hockey. This guy hasn't played as much hockey, but we're still on a team, and we're still working towards a goal. Just enjoying the weekend with each other. So.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. So
exactly. Yeah. There's no egos on the ice.
So one last thing, and I mentioned it, maybe you kind of touched on already, but one more time, just so I can have a quote. What would you say about the tournament to get people over the hump? Say they want to do it, but they're unsure. What are you telling them?
I'm going to look them straight in the eye and say, hey, if you're okay missing out on one of the best experiences of your life, go ahead and don't sign up for this.
Perfect. Reed.
If you want, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, perfect. All right, buddy. Well, thanks for chatting with me today, and I can't wait to see you on the ice at another draft experience. I know you're headed to Oklahoma City. If all this if all this stuff works out and we can get life back to normal, we'll see you on the ice here in about a month. Yeah,
hey, that's number one on my radar is making sure that we're still able to make that ice.
For sure. Well, just stay safe out there in Omaha. Make sure you're practicing everything that they're telling us to do, and we'll all get through this and hopefully be on the ice pretty soon.
Yeah, you take care of yourself up there too, man.
All right, buddy. We'll chat soon. Thanks.
All right, bye.
So that was Reed. This was Reed's first draft experience. He's an Omaha local, and you heard him. Like he told you, he hit the nail on the head. If you're okay missing out on one of the best experiences of your life, don't sign up for a draft experience. Everyone else will be having them.